Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Thursday's thought for the day. I realise as I'm doing these thoughts for the day and looking at myself in the camera that I'm losing more hair. Now, one time that would have bothered me, but it doesn't anymore, thankfully. Well, on Tuesday, I learned of the death of a very dear friend of mine, a lady called Joyce, and someone I'd known for over 25 years. Someone who was a great inspiration to me and also to many others, and someone who'd offered constant support, someone whose wisdom I had treasured over the years. And I called her my posh second mom. That was the joke between us, because she was quite posh. She was 86, but that hasn't made her passing any easier. And she's the third friend that I've lost in the past 6 weeks. But it's the one that has hit me the hardest. And inevitably, at such times as this, I began to think about my own mortality, and that's something that for most of our lives we don't really consider or don't want to consider, and maybe you have to reach a certain age before it takes on any sort of significance. And I know that my friend lived a life full of meaning and purpose, always interested in others, passionate about injustice, an iconoclast, and was very, very funny. She was a great role model to me. And it was strange because I knew that she was in hospital and that there were plans for her to return home. But I was thinking about her on Sunday, and when I came across this quote and I was thinking about her life, and it's a quote from a book called Hoping Against Hope by John Caputo, who's an American philosopher. And he says, unless we face our own mortality, we can never claim the fullness of life. Unless we recognize the fragility of life, we'll never discover its true value. Yes, life is defined and limited and bounded by death. We see that every day. But it's not nullified by death. Death is not a diminishment or negation of life, but its intensification. And he goes on to say we might think about it like this. Death is to life what a picture frame is to a beautiful painting. It holds before us what it is. It focuses our attention. It intensifies and prioritizes what really matters. That this life on earth doesn't last forever. It doesn't diminish its value. It gives it value. And that leaves us, doesn't it? That quote leaves us asking some difficult questions. Or I'm asking myself some difficult questions. Is there life in the way I'm living in this moment? Is there life in the way I see the world and relate to others? Am I growing? Am I bringing life to others? Is there life in me even as I face my own mortality? And if there isn't, why isn't there? What needs to change, to be let go of, to be done differently? You know, we constantly, it doesn't matter what age we are, we're constantly open to learning. We never have the full answers, do we? And those aren't just questions for me, that they're for all of us. The sort of temporality of life means that this one moment, this right now, this now, is priceless. There won't be another moment like this moment. Everything and everyone matter. Nothing and no one are to be taken for granted. And I think that's what Jesus knew, and why he lived as he did. He took no person, no thing, no day for granted. And his life was intense. His love was passionate. His presence was palpable. There was a deep meaning and a significance to who he was and everything that he did. He lived as he did, not in spite of his coming death, but rather because he knew his death was coming. And there's no escaping it, is there? So is ours. Not in the same way, but so is ours. So I wonder what that means for us today. What might that mean for our relationships and our priorities and the values we hold or we claim to hold, and the ways we love, forgive, the ways we show up for others, the places where we invest our time, our money and our effort. Are our lives taking the shape and direction we need it to? Is there meaning and significance in our lives and what we're doing in those lives? Is there a feeling of beauty and presence? Do we live with awe and wonder at God's creation, at God's work in our lives? And are we filled with gratitude and appreciation? I know that I'm not always filled with gratitude and appreciation, but I think I should be. So the most important day of your life is today. And I suppose we all need to be asking ourselves, what are we going to do in it? Amen. I'll see you on Thursday. No, see you on Monday. And you take care of yourself. I won't see you on Monday. I'll speak to you on Monday. You take care of yourself and look after yourselves. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.